And we are on the air with you at 5:30. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Allen.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Sam Wright. South Dakota consistently ranking as one of the worst states in the country for LGBTQ+ individuals to live in. That is based partly on laws and low representation for that community.
By the numbers, there are only 4 LGBTQ+ lawmakers at any level. Well, now a national nonprofit group will be in Sioux Falls this coming weekend. Their mission is to boost that number. John Gaskins with our 5:30 top story.
For 30 years, the LGBTQ+ Victory Institute, based out of Washington, D.C., has traveled the country to recruit and train LGBTQ+ people to run for office. They're making their first ever trip to South Dakota on Saturday, and they'll have the state's first ever openly gay male legislator to help.
I see people in my community struggling and feeling like they have been villainized by our state lawmakers with recent legislation that has been really circulating the country.
House member Cameron Nelson of Sioux Falls is referring to anti-transgender bills in each of the last 2 sessions. The Victory Institute took notice. And so on Saturday, with Nelson's help,
our goal is to inspire folks to run, be real about what a campaign looks like in general, but also for an LGBTQ+ person.
Barriers for these potential candidates include the fear of not being able to win enough votes from a population they don't feel supports them in the first place. Also, fierce social media attacks and protests at campaign events. Plus,
a lot of people don't think of themselves as politicians.
Nelson was one of them, but eventually, after training and funding from Victory organizations, he ran and succeeded. But once he got to Pierre, he found some fellow lawmakers were not welcoming.
I'm not sure that some of my colleagues have ever met a queer person before. And so making that real, making those connections, it was difficult.
But Nelson says the fight for LGBTQ+ rights is worth it. He meets with young people in the community about this regularly and fears the state will continue to lose some of its best and brightest minds because they don't feel accepted.
Find more passionate human beings who say, you know what, South Dakota is wonderful, it's beautiful, stay here. Help me make South Dakota better and more inclusive for everyone.
Nelson says the best way he can make people in the state who don't support more inclusiveness of the LGBTQ+ community is this statement. South Dakotans are mighty proud of the state's identity of a place of freedom and liberty, and it's time for those rights to be extended to everyone.